What up, man? It's your boy, Cool Water, the digital dope man. Feeling this beat. Coming to you live in full effect. Another episode in the Ballroom Chats podcast. With me, your host, Cool Water, the digital dope man. It's been a minute since I done came through and dropped some game on the mic, but we're gonna delve off into something today that hit me in the head. I felt like I needed to talk about it. I don't tend to do the podcast too regularly. I probably should, but there's so much going on that I gotta, space out my time. So, welcome to the Ballroom Chats podcast. As if your first time coming on the show, you probably don't know much about it. Ballroom Chats basically is a podcast where we pretty much talk about all areas of entertainment, politics, business, culture, fashion, and we do it in a relaxed setting, kind of like being at the bar. So that's more really where the idea came from, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I, came up with that idea. But so today, I had to jump on the mic because it was something that's been coming across my head. It's been seeing some stuff that I've been wanting to discuss. And I went to the movies over the weekend and I seen the movie Fast and Furious 9. And in that movie, it's the usual same old rigmarole. The bad guy is trying to take over the world, and you know the story, the subject line. But then in there, they made a real play on showing the Asian culture and the Asian actors' strengths. Positive strengths, and gave them more of a leg up, if you will. So they got me to thinking. This podcast is going to be titled The Rise of the Asians, The Death of the Africans. And the reason why I said that is because over the last few years, Asians have been getting more publicity, more pub, more concern, more love, just an overall camaraderie around the Asian culture. And one of those situations that I started to notice stemmed from the movies. In which this case it was Fast and Furious 9. So the little Asian girl, was like the third tier actress in the movie, along with her other Asian cohort. They kind of had a leading role. And the time as the movie went on, she became the focal point. And was the main one that they built the movie around. Her internal power from whatever her father instilled in her, as they got killed, put her in a position where she was always on the lookout and always was being hunted. So I noticed that movie. Then I noticed, I don't know if you remember last year, The Wealthy Asians. I think that came out. I may have the title wrong. And that was a movie that looked pretty good. Let's see if this is it. The Wealthy Asians movie. And I'm on Google trying to see if I see it. Yeah, no, okay. Crazy Rich Asians was the title of the movie. And that was Asian-oriented movie. Then you had the TV show about the Asian family and the little boy that always was rocking the hip-hop. TV shows, Asians. And that was Fresh Off the Boat. I don't know if you remember that one. So over time, the Asians have been starting to get their foothold in America and grow their power and strength. And one of the places that they started, now behind the scenes on the political front, we probably won't be as privy to that because we're not really into politics as heavy as somebody who's a politician. But in the entertainment space, the movies have been slowly eking out Asian ethnicity to the public at large to indoctrinate you, to get you to feel more comfortable with the Asian as they become more powerful in America. Right? So now we have Snake Eyes coming out on the 23rd. Looks pretty good. That's another ninja style movie. Then it's another movie I think coming out in November with an Asian Kung Fu movie. That might be in November. That's coming out. So now the Asian is rising. As the Asian is rising, the African is being diminished. And I'm saying globally, we're talking about the so-called African Americans in America, so-called Africans in Africa, so-called Africans in Europe, the Caribbean, Haiti. That's a very good one. Haiti. The president of Haiti was just murdered because he didn't want to take the hokey pokey shot and give it to his people. I call it the hokey pokey shot because when I publish this stuff, a lot of this stuff gonna be censored. If I say, that particular stuff. Probably not as much now because they got their plan rolling. But in the beginning, a lot of people's getting censored, getting their channels shut down because they said anything outside of getting the hokey pokey shot to heal the so-called illness that's out here and been going on for the last year and a half. So they murdered the president of Haiti because allegedly, because we don't have the facts, but this is our assumption, they went into his home and killed him and injured his wife because why? He didn't want to put the hokey pokey shot in his people. They was using natural alternative methods of curing people. See? And Haiti being one of the islands that's out there in the southern we'll say the Atlantic, down past Florida, out by the Bahamas, those people are still part of the African culture. Death to the African, rise of the Asian. So now Haiti is going through this restructuring period. Well, as soon as they got him out the way, here come the hokey pokey stuff being shipped to the country of Haiti so we can get y'all indoctrinated and infected with this poison. You understand me? Right? So all of this is the pot is being brewed. It's being stirred. Right? Asian movies are on the rise. Donald Trump tries to go against China, is having some success, and then boom. Everything in the voting realm takes a turn for the worse. Voting machines allegedly hacked, voter suppression. All of this is going on to keep Donald Trump out of office because Donald Trump is trying to restore the republic and go against Asia, right? The rise of the Asians. So now that he out, Biden, he over there, he and Asian healthy relationship. He licking their ass, right? TikTok is no longer being censored or about to be censored for intelligence security breaches. Now that Biden's in office, Trump was finna shut it down. Trump was finna shut it down, but they got him out the way. So as time progresses, the Asian community is being shown so much love, but the African, black folks, whatever part of the continent you on, is being diminished, right? So then we move from out of that, and then we go into the racial side of things. Asians were experiencing a certain amount of racial hatred. And then all of a sudden, boom, the media, the communities, businesses, all of these organizations and entities come together and rally around the Asian to support them and embrace them and lift them up to help stop with the racism and the hatred and the hate crimes that were going on against Asians. But for the last year and a half, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, oh man, the list goes on, getting murdered, getting killed. Nobody's saying nothing. Nobody's putting anything in place. Nobody's going against the grain to ensure that the African, aka black folks, were protected. Joe Biden signs an executive order to protect the Asian, but has not signed anything to protect the African. Anything. And won't sign nothing. You see? Death of the African, rise of the Asian. So as the world keeps turning, and black folks continue to go into quote unquote the future, we become the prize, the loot. We become hunted by artificial intelligence. We become hunted by facial recognition software. We become hunted by the robots. We become hunted by the drones. See? Because you are the target. You are the prize. You see what I'm saying? We are the goats that Kim referenced, calling the the black goat with horns the devil. No, we are the black goat. That's the metaphor that was used by those elitists. So no one is working in favor to protect us from our own demise. No one is working to protect us from our own demise. In my book, How to Guide the Banking Black, I talk about the rise of the Asian and how China patiently waited and went in and bought up America, put banks inside of America, bought politicians, bought senators, bought movie studios, and did everything necessary in order to put themselves in position so that they would be in a position to be able to control America from the inside out. And one day you'll wake up and won't be hollering white supremacy, you'll be hollering Asian supremacy. Death to the African, rise of the Asian. The Asians are over there in Africa. What are they doing? Mating with African women. Impregnating African women, but teaching those African babies how to have loyal to the Asian empire, the Asian country, the Asian people. So the mulatto babies will do what? They will become an instrument of war against African people. Real talk. Real talk. So I put it in the book because it needed to be understood that the shift now is being shifted from white supremacy to Asian supremacy. And even though the white guy still has much of the power across the globe, he's not quite going to be as powerful come the near future, 2030, as we approach what will be deemed the browning of America and the browning of the globe. Hence the reason a lot of people are being murdered. We got to reduce the population because there's too many people of color on the planet, and they have to do everything in their power that they can do in order to ensure that they stay in control. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This is paramount that you see what I'm seeing. Asian commercials starting to pop up here and there. Like I said, the movies is already, Alibaba, which is the equivalent of Amazon in America, is a powerful, they have a movie studio too. And they're working with Hollywood, buying into Hollywood, doing whatever they need to do to put themselves in position to become power players in the near future. And black folks don't have any real recourse. We don't have no economic base. We don't have no banks. We don't have no politicians working in our favor. Our pastors and our preachers and things of that nature pretty much done sold us out. They not working on behalf of the people. They do their little care packages or what have you, and it ends up being just a handout. It's nothing in particular that is going to be beneficial, to us in the long run. So one of the things that I think, again, we have to really understand is the power of being your natural black ass across the globe. Being yourself is just as dangerous as it is taking on someone else's identity. As they say, being unapologetically black, quote unquote, using Umar's phrase, or unapologetically African, is paramount because it's that energy that brings about the destruction of other cultures that want to override and overrun you. You see what I'm saying? I was remembering. Hold on, just a second. I wasn't remembering. I was reminiscing on something that Amos Wilson said in a video in 1995, and that was that the Asians will become the new superpowers. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're becoming the dominant superpower across the globe. And then quiet as kept, India is coming in second. The East Indian ain't no fool either. He don't really have a natural likening for African people. You understand me? As Dr. Henry Clark said, we have no friends. Well, we don't have no friends. The real play is understanding where you are, what position you playing on the field, and how to win the game. That's the real play. That's the real play. You see what I'm saying? So the Fast and Furious 9, they made the Asian a focal point in the movie. They got a couple of more Asian movies coming out. Biden and the Prime Minister of China, boom. Not Prime Minister, I forgot what they call the guys in the Asian presidents, but they have a working relationship. Biden is starting to implement Asian activity with surveillance cameras and things of that nature. He's copying their country's business model, if you will, and putting that into America. And as time progresses, black folks we get more and more diminished, become more and more pushed out of society, if you will. It's just a matter of time, man. So I'm not gonna drag this out too long, but I just wanted to point out a few key things in this podcast, Rise of the Asians, Death of the African, that we are at a point where genocide is among us as a race. Because we deal with the petty shit too much. You know, women got a problem with Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels is coming like the great equalizer. And the message ain't welcoming and warming and conducive to their liking. People don't like a lot of the shit that Umar say because his message might not be welcoming and enlightening. They don't like the minister's message because he wasn't coming to play with y'all. Your livelihood, your culture, your ethnicity, your quality of life, all of that is on the line. And somebody got the scope pointed at your head like Public Enemy got the scope pointed at them when you see the jackets. They got the scope pointed at your head because the whole overall goal is to kill you and get rid of you. Or either try to fuck you out of existence. The more interracial babies that are born and then they go back into society and mate with another culture, the less and less naturally black people you will see across the planet. So they working on all fronts. And it's real game. Now, a lot of y'all like to kumbaya, want to hold everybody's hand. That's your business. But understand there's going to come a place and a point where you're going to have to make a decision. You're either going to ride with your people or you're going to ride with the people that's against your people. And if you ride against your people and go with the people that's against your people, you too will meet your demise. I'm going to end it right there, man. Rise of the African, Rise of the Asian, Death of the African. Check me out, Cool Water, the Digital Dope Man, at ishiphopdead.com. Look for me at the blog. Look for me at the home-based site, the Digital Dope Man. All social media handles. Stay focused, stay diligent, and stay on your mission. Peace.